Hi everyone. So today another video that is what I am creating. So today's video is basically the topic is like interview preparations and how to face interviews. So I believe that everyone who is aspiring for a job or who is going to give an interview recently or preparing for interviews like going through their courses and yet not completed their courses like in the final year or like planning for the interviews prior. So for all those candidates, everyone, so it is a helpful video. So basically, how to be confident and how to face the interview with your best potential, and so that your the outcome of the interview is the most probably the outcome comes in favor of you. So that is what the motto of making this video. And basically, so that is what the topic of today is. So let's get started. So basically the interview preparations and everything starts once when you are like completing your education, formal education, and you are applying for a job, right? So but with the process is something that already is kind of like we are accustomed to this vivas and all oral examinations that happens. So that is how we prepare, like that is how the school, the institutions, they kind of prepare us for these interviews that we are going to face in our upcoming life, like when we are going to search for job, and eventually to get a job you need to give an interview, whatever may be the format of, means it can be an online interview or it can be an offline interview, but interview is something that you need to face. And but in this point, like I have known personally many people who are like a bit skeptical, a bit worried to basically face interviews, and someone there are lots of people like who are really confident, who are having technical knowledge, sound knowledge, but like once they are appearing for interviews, they are like quite nervous, like at that point of time, at that situation, they are like getting worried and they are like getting confused that somehow that it is I know a lot of things, but in front of a certain person or in the presence of this interview board members, like 4 or 5 people are sitting in front of me, and I am like nervous and I am not being able to give the proper answers to it, or basically my mind is not at all functioning properly, and I am totally nervous, and it is somehow like I don't know how to deal with the situation and all, and I just want to get out of the situation. So basically this video will discuss about all these things, so you don't get nervous in future and you just get the perfect combination of the mental balance and the psychological confidence and everything, so that you can face the interview and you can definitely have a real nice experience of yourself and also for the interview board members, like yes, this person is confident and can be able to work for a company. And that is the motto of making this video. So next phase wise I will all discuss about everything, so stay tuned. Yes, so now the main thing that you should always keep in mind, it is like having the perfect balance of confidence and the feasibility, like the normal state of mind that you should be having, right? So it is not a big deal to appear for an interview, it is not a big deal. First thing, you should be very much uh, well accustomed with the fact that there is no point getting nervous or tense or worried, or there is no point being skeptical or afraid or something like that. It is a very natural process. You are just going to discuss and you are just going to talk with certain people. It may be a single individual, it may be a multiple number of people sitting in front of you, and there is no point like getting very much stressed about it or giving too much importance to the fact that I am giving an interview today. Some people are like nervous from the very beginning of the day or 1 or 2 days prior to the interview, that what will happen, I am going to face an interview, what will happen if like that point of time I feel a bit uneasy, or if something like this happens, like if I am not physically feeling very much well, and all these kind of things. So there is no point getting all these thoughts in your mind. And see, most of the things are in your mind. So if you are like worried and you are like afraid, then definitely something may come up, like you may feel something in your stomach, or you may feel like dizziness, or you may feel like you are having nausea and all. So these things are basically something that happens for a certain instance of time when you're giving an interview and you are feeling sick. That is something that is related to your mind, and you have to have this confidence inside you that nothing is like so much, you don't need to be so much serious about it. You are not going to take it that much seriously. It is a normal conversation, and yes, definitely you need to maintain the formal approach. You need to have that formal attitude and the formal sense. The dress and attire and everything should have that professional and formal kind of a appearance from your end, and at the same time you should speak with that much amount of responsibility, with a formal professional kind of a nature. And that is what is important. And apart from that, there is no point being afraid or being worried or being having this kind of thinking in your mind that what will happen when this and that and all these things. That these are not at all important, these are not at all something that you should be worried. So first thing, if you keep this thing in mind, then definitely it will be like you have already won the major part, and you are like, you will be confident and you will give the interview properly. So the motto, the bottom line for the first part that I'm mentioning is like, you need to be very much calm and you need to be composed, and there is no point taking things seriously. There is no point taking things much seriously. It's not like you should be casual and you should be feeling sleepy, or you should be that it is not like you would be like unattentive and like unaware of what is being asked. You are like repeating stuffs and things like, well, I'm sorry, I don't get you. Don't know, these kind of things are not acceptable. So you need to be aware, you need to be punctual for the interview also, like, and you need to have that common sense of gestures and everything. Like, you need to ask like, may I have a seat and all. Once we are entering from the room into the room, may I come in and all. These are good formal gestures that you need to maintain. And at the same time, once you are speaking, you need to have that voice modulation, that you should not speak very much low, or you should not speak very much in a high pitch. So that modulation part should also be there. You should speak in a proper tone, in a proper voice, and the pitch should be like normal. So that it should not feel like you are yelling, or you should not feel like you are really like sleeping and you are like not speaking loudly and nothing is getting understandable. So these things you should keep it in your mind, and at the same time, that confidence part and that laid back thing, you should have it inside you, that yes, whatever it will it be, I won't be getting nervous, because if I am getting nervous or worried, at that point there is nothing is happening in my favor or in my advantage. So my advantage will be if I am calm and if I am relaxed and if I am having the proper sense and the proper idea that yes, I am going to face this interview. The interview will hardly last for a tenure of like 10 minutes, 12 minutes maximum at a stretch, and sometimes it is also like done in 6 to 7 minutes also. Yes, at certain interviews it stretches up to half an hour, or in some technical kind of an interview where there are lots of technical things being asked, that is something that stretches to more than half an hour, or it can stretch up to 1 hour also. But that is something that once you are done with the first 5 minutes and all 5-10 minutes, that you are you are really able to have the conversation, and you are able to speak and you are able to communicate properly, like these things once you are done, then the interviewers may get into the technical things and technical details and everything that they may be asking you. But the first thing is to have that normal sense and to have the normal kind of a mindset, so that you are able to just be there properly and answer questions, be aware, and have a formal and professional attitude. And then the next part about how to just counter and how to just make some answers, like once you are in the interview board, once you are facing the interview, that I am going to discuss more details in more details, right? So yes, that is the part that I am creating like one by one. So in the next part I will discuss about certain other things also. Yes. So like one thing that comes up during an interview is like the most bad thing that can happen basically is like questions are being asked to you and you are unable to give the answers, right? That is the point where we all get nervous. because that is what is kind of a nightmare for us also. Once we are like giving interviews for the first time, or we are given one interview and the experience was like kind of like this. So that is what is maybe the concern for many aspirants, like what will happen. So what I will mention is like, you may be asked several questions, like 5 questions, 10 questions you are being asked, you are unable to give a single answer also. So first thing you should keep it in your mind is like, you should not be feeling embarrassed, or you should not be feeling ashamed. You should stay firm, and that should not affect you, that should not affect you at all, because you may not know these questions, but you may know other things that the interviewer is not asking you, and you are not there to be judged by yourself, right? The interviewer is there to judge you, but there is no help by judging yourself, that see what is happening, I am creating a mess, I am unable to give answers to the questions, so what will happen, how will I justify, how will I get a job? So these points, these questions should not come into your mind, these things should not affect you at all. If you are unable to give answers, there is one single thing that you can do, that sir ma'am, I am unable to recollect at this point of time, and definitely I will check these questions, I am unable to recollect to these questions. So that is the one line that you should be answering. So when you are, and your expression and your everything should remain normal, you should not feel embarrassed, or you should not feel ashamed. So these things are also being judged by the interviewer, because they judges you, like what will happen if the person, if I am hiring, and tomorrow he is facing a customer or a client, and he is being asked something, and he or she is not having the knowledge. So how will the person react? So the person, if he is reacting in a positive manner, in a confident manner, so that will help, that will help the company and the organization also. So that thing you should keep it in your mind. And definitely once you are done with the interview, how many number of interviews you are giving, until and unless you are getting success, you make one thing, you should definitely make a note of the questions being asked to you, technical, non-technical, HR related questions, whatever questions are being asked to you, you make a note of those questions, and you do prepare for those questions for the next interview, because that way around I am quite certain that you are going to get the similar kind of interviews, whatever is your subject. So the interviewers basically, they have this kind of set of questions they have in their mind, and there are certain popular questions, there are certain important questions in your subject also, in your technical subject. These questions are being asked, basically these questions are being asked to being asked from you to illustrate and all. And apart from that, those HR questions and those non-technical questions, these are like introduce yourself and all. These questions you also note and prepare accordingly, and definitely that will be helpful, that you will be getting successful this way around, right? And also that thing I mentioned to you, that there is no point feeling embarrassed and ashamed, because interviewer judges your temperament, your mental ability, your stability and everything, so that once you are hired into a company, you should be able to handle pressure, you should be able to handle failure in your projects also. Like there would be time when you would not be able to meet a target or a deadline, then how will you react, how will you take up the situation, whether you will be firm, whether you will be strong, that okay, whatever have happened, like today the deadline I have missed, but that doesn't mean that that is the end of the project, I need to complete it like in another 7 days time or something. Or if I am unable to answer to the client or the customer at this moment, but I will definitely get back to the client and customer, and that way around business are being done, and you are a part of the business. So these things you should keep it in your mind, and that will be helpful for you. And that's it, that is the main motto of making this video. Be confident and make yourself prepared for interviews, and keep the preparation going on, and definitely you will be successful. So for more videos like this, definitely to like the videos, subscribe to the channel, and share these videos to those who will be helpful and benefited from these videos. So everyone, take care, bye bye. Do definitely like and subscribe, and that's it for the time being. Thank you, bye bye.